Hi guys, I don't really have this one very well planned out, but I just really want to shoot the breeze with you about something. My sensei has a very well considered knife defense solution, a position to stand, a way to do it, and all kinds of stuff, which has never been tested in the heat of reality, which is contrary to accepted wisdom, in so much as there is any accepted wisdom, and which I, quite frankly, don't agree with. The problem is that his solution ticks all the boxes on paper, but just doesn't seem right. I mean, there are things about it that I just absolutely don't agree with, and he will never convince me, and I have a very good reason to disagree with him. But the general principle. I'll explain that. Basically, you stand with your hands like this across, because then you're not exposing your veins, and then as they come in, you kind of peel off, and you kind of receive the knife like this, and then you turn and grab, so that at no point your veins are exposed. And the reasoning behind that, obviously, is that if you get a cut artery, you're going to bleed out really, really quickly, and that makes perfect sense to me. And you do that because it covers the centre line, and it's never been tested, so it's just his idea. And quite frankly, that doesn't mean it's bad just because it's never been tested, because everything was never tested till it was tested. I hope that he never has to test it, but obviously the fact that it's never had to stand up against a harsh reality of being stabbed is diminishes its credibility, but it doesn't mean it's not a good solution. It just means it doesn't have the credibility of it hasn't stood up in battle. But the point I'm making here is not really that I disagree with his defence, because there's loads of martial arts stuff by really world class martial artists that I disagree with. That's just inevitable, because we all have interpretations of martial arts. But the point is that in this particular defence, in some areas he sacrificed. For example, when you stand like this, you keep your guard in quite close to you. And now his raison d'etre for that is that when you hold your guard out, if your hands get slashed, then you're more concerned about your hands, and your hands become a target. I would counter that by saying, well, keeping your hands out far creates more distance. So if they go for your hands, then you're kicking them or whatever while they go for your hands. And I would sooner keep them at a distance than have a close-up guard that protects my middle line but makes me feel really awkward. And that really is the point I'm getting at. Is not to criticise his defence, because he's reasoned it out well, and I've reasoned out my counter to it equally well. But the fact is that there are a lot of times when one's comfort in a technique is more important than one's optimality. So against a knife, I can't imagine any more important time to be comfortable about what you're doing, rather than to be optimal about it. I see techniques demonstrated all the time where they're described how they're going to work, and then when the instructor goes to demonstrate them, the instructor can't even make them work. And I just kind of think, well, you shouldn't teach that. If you can't make it work, then you just shouldn't teach it. But to go back to the knife defense example, the point is that there's a lot of times when being uncomfortable. I think Masashi once said, "Don't have your mind in your feet," and that's been interpreted a number of different ways. Some people interpret that to mean you shouldn't worry with formal stances, but I interpret that to mean that your focus of what you're doing should be on the other person, shouldn't be in your own body. You should not be so preoccupied by your own mechanics and your distance and your timing. There comes a point when that should all just come naturally as a result of lots and lots of practice. And if your mind is in your feet or in your stance or in your hands or in your posture or whatever, then your mind is not on the real danger, which is the other person. And really what you should be doing is working on how to anticipate what they're going to do, and then just allow yourself to naturally react with the tools that you've practiced. And the trouble with the knife defence is that it's a completely different tool. Now, I fully accept the argument that One of the reasons it feels awkward is because it's not a very practiced tool. You practice knife defences maybe every 3 months for half an hour to an hour, and that's not enough for it to become second nature very quickly, if at all. But the point is that if you take on board an entirely different tool set for defences against knife than you do for everything else, you use a different guard, you stand in a different way, you move in a different way, your entire mental approach to self-defense is different when there's a knife, then I would argue that perhaps that tool set is not going to be good for you when you need it. I don't really think I have an awful lot more to say on that, but I would value your opinions on this one, guys. Thanks very much. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please take the time to rate and comment, and it would mean a lot to me if you would subscribe. Thank you.